All right, what's good, chat? We are currently in London. It has been a long week, like a long week. Gold hasn't been moving. I got into a buy on Monday and it failed, so I had to get out of that trade with a small profit. And then I ended up having to go to London on Thursday, but my visa was messed up with my passport. It was on a different passport that I used to have. So Wednesday I was supposed to fly out to London and get here by Thursday and have the event Thursday. But I didn't do that. Got it expedited, left Thursday, and now today is Friday. And yeah, we're in London, and I have like literally 20 minutes to speak because it is currently, I don't know if you guys can even see this right now, but it is currently June 5th. It is 4:24. The event starts in like 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down the trades that I am in. Right now, I'm still in a sale on gold, if you can see that. Just kind of bring it close for you guys. But I'm currently in a sale. Also, with this being said, stop trying to copy my trades off of Instagram because a lot of people try to go based off what I post on Instagram and they be like, oh, he put a stop loss here, so that's where I'm gonna put it. I put my stop loss there because a lot of people try to copy my exact trades. You need to put in the hard work yourself. I'm going to put stop losses that don't make sense because why are you copying my trades? Put in your own hard work. But anyways, with that being said, let's break down these trades for you guys. Hope you guys have an amazing day and love you guys. All right, so let's start off with the trade that I took on Monday coming into Tuesday. Pretty sure it was just Tuesday. But as you can see, this trade made a good amount of money. But the only problem is this trade ended up making a lower high, and I was with too much risk, which made me close in the first place. Pretty sure I have on my notes. Yeah, I tripled my risk, which had me on edge about my trade. I didn't feel 100% confident, so I ended up closing when I seen a lower high on the 15-minute. Now, I'm pretty excited, or I guess we can say I'm pretty glad that I exited the trade when I didn't feel 100% about it because this trade, when I got out, it made a lower high and then kept going down. So as you can see here, this is where I entered on that position. And the reason why I entered was because this 4 hour ended up making a higher low. And this higher low had me thinking that price was going to push higher. So as you can see here, price above this level right here, price above this level was basically rejecting here, which is where I seen initial buyers come into play over here. So I was thinking that price was making this higher low to buy up and make a new higher high, finally break out of this level. But instead, I ended up getting my position and ended up closing like almost 5 hours later. So this trade only ran for like right around 5 hours. You can see right here, I entered in at 1, got out by 7 o'clock. And yeah, this trade was pretty much a holy mess. But what I said in my video previously, so the previous video, I told you guys that my initial trade was under these levels right here, selling back down because we've seen price structure do this already. And that is the trade that I got into. So as you can see here, breaking down pretty much really simple of what I did. As you can see here, this is using the wick right here, but if you want to, you can still use the body close. No like specific reason why, but it's kind of like even to where everything is over here. But if you're very picky, you can put it on the body close, but everything under this level had selling potential. So you can see that volume from here sold down to this level. So that is price telling me, hey, anytime price is under 4,513 is going to sell to 4,455. As you can see here, when it sold, that was the sale that we took last week, and then it ended up making a new low. So we know from 4,440 that it's going to sell down to 4,368. So with that being said, price ended up going on that correction, doing everything it did. But what stood out to me and what made me take this sell even more was the fact that we had three lower highs back to back. So we have a lower high here, and then another lower high that was created right before it fell off. But as you can see, there's multiple lower highs in this market. Even if we wasn't to use anything over here, we could use this right here, right? We could use all this right here. And we can see that this was the highest point. Price ended up making a low, making a level of support. We can mark that up. And as we can see, we have the indication here. Price ended up doing a correction just to fall back down later on. And this is all on the 4 hour time frame. Notice how I didn't even have to go to the 1 hour time frame to see all this structure before, right? So with that being said, all I did was I seen that price was already under that level to sell. So what I did was I took a sell based off of price breaking under these levels. And with that being said, targeting here, because that is the last level, the last low that price has been to, and it hasn't been touched. So as you go back and watch my previous video before this one, I was telling you guys how if price is going to sell, it's going to sell to lows. And this is the low that I was referring to. So once again, go reference from the other video. All I did was everything under here selling and everything under here is selling. I did no special waiting for fair value gaps and all this other stuff. All I did was I seen price was under a low, so I sold, right? Here I got into a buy, which I am so glad I got out in my favor. But when I started to follow along with whatever the higher time, because even then I should have waited, because that would have been a loss. That really would have been a loss if I would have never got out. If I would have never got out here, if I would have never got out here, that would have been a loss, right? So to avoid this loss, to avoid that, next time I need to wait for price to make another structure to confirm that this is a higher low. Because once again, I just felt for the reject of this, which is okay because there's buyers here. Price can reject here. I felt for the rejection, looking at it as a higher low, and then felt for that because I should have waited for boom, price just sold off. It needs to make a high and then it needs to have a higher low, right? Because this is the bottom support. So price could still come up and make that lower high since there's nothing going against this support, right? We are currently going against this level, but this support is brand new, right? So we don't know if this support is going to hold. So I should have waited for price to hell and then take that. But even then, taking that buy was very, very risky of me. And I should have only looked for price to be above here. But I'm only human. I make mistakes too. I'm so glad that this mistake didn't cause me to lose a lot of money or lose money at all. So with that being said, and I doubled my risk just because I thought that I had the holy grail on this trade. So sometimes I still do deal with my emotions and I still do stupid things, but I'm glad that this stupid thing did not cost me money. So with that being said, I'm still in my other trade. Whenever that trade closes, we'll go ahead and get into the next trade. But as you can see, I've been holding this trade since yesterday. It's currently Friday. And yeah, I'm pretty sure back home it's like right around New York session, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So with that being said, that is pretty much my trade for the day. Uh, ready for whatever comes next. But right now, I'm pretty much holding this trade. I'm not really going to do too much with it. I have it on three different accounts. So I have it on two Euro accounts and one USD account. And all of them are floating a good amount of money. So I'm going to continue to hold to see how far this can go because we just broke the daily low. So I really want to see where price is going to go after this daily break and how far it's going to go down. Maybe we can get this 4,100. But yeah, have a good day.